Hello, good evening. So we're currently building my SD Sinanju. So this is just a bootleg version. Don't expect much with the quality. So let's try to build as fast as we can in 1 hour. So yung 7, yung puro 7. Isa dito. At sundan natin yun. CA. I think ito yun. This, talaga dito siya. Parang hindi siya. Parang luwag. Tapos itong isa ay dito. Seryoso, ito maluwag. Yung isang sikip. Baka mali. Diba? Ito maluwag, ito masikip. So, talaga, dito siya. Okay. So, may ganun siya. Okay. Kasi ito nag-upload. Pero, dahil meron, sabi siya, medyo, sige. Hindi siya naikot eh. Hindi siya nila is, okay, 18. A6. maputol. So, stop siya dito eh. So, gagawin niya, ito dapat siya doon medyo na. Okay. So, yan. Sinasabi ko, medyo naglubos na. Eh, mahirap lang talaga dito. Kasi, ito, I'm doing is, tinitrim ko ng konti para pumasok. So, iba nga sinasanding ko. Medyo fit na siya yan. Tendency na kasi ba magbasag. Siya naman, I think this is close enough. So, ito, pasa natin dito. Okay, so that fits. So, yun yung mata niya. So, ito. Got it right. Kanina po ito. Mahirap. Kailangan ito swak. Hirap buuin na. Ulo pa lang yan. Kasi hindi ko lang papasok ito eh. Pasok naman siya. Finally. Laptop na siya. Yun ay yung A16. 16. Yung yan, yung 16.
Da FIFA, ele viu que havia alguma chance.
Would it in fact be such a bad thing then for football if Brazil did get this post?
I don't know. I should be a little apprehensive.
Why apprehensive?
Well, in view of the way that I've seen that their attitude towards football and sport is so different from ours. I don't think
Stanley Rouse made some big mistakes and misjudgments on the international stage, particularly the fact that he had a tolerant attitude towards apartheid South Africa and their membership of FIFA.
He's not well loved in Africa. People see Stanley Rouse as a part of the British Empire who are blocking the advancement of the African countries who are fighting for their independence.
Então o Avelange falou assim, enquanto tiver o apartheid, se eu for eleito presidente da FIFA, o futebol sul-africano não entra na FIFA.
Havelange fought a very shrewd election, and this is where the politics, perhaps with a capital P, comes in. Each country's football association has one vote in the FIFA presidential election, so there are votes all around the world, especially in Africa. And João Havelange completely understood that if you wanted to win that election, it's not going to do you any harm if you promise them that there's going to be some resources there, some money there for development of the game in their own countries.
E aí existe também, óbvio, a suspeita de que tinha dinheiro, que haveria os famosos pacotes, envelopes marrons que teriam sido distribuídos para dirigentes no hotel de Frankfurt, na véspera ou dias antes do Congresso. Claro que houve, tenho certeza que houve.
Gentlemen delegates, Mr. Havelange received 68 votes, sustaining 52. The new president of FIFA is Mr. de Havelange.
The election of João Havelange was such a watershed for FIFA. This Brazilian industrialist had replaced the English referee, FA Blazer figure.
Tão inesperado e impactante, a eleição do Avelange, a chegada do Avelange à FIFA combina com a chegada do capitalismo na FIFA, no sentido de a entidade deixar de ser quase que um clube de amigos, um Rotary Club, europeus, todos muito interessados no jogo, e passar a ser um business, um negócio.
Sitôt après avoir été nommé président de la FIFA, j'ai eu en tête deux projets particulièrement ambitieux. Il devait profiter avant tout à la jeunesse et aux pays de tiers-monde.
So Havelange had made those promises to do more development in Africa particularly. But the problem was that there wasn't much money in FIFA to actually do these programs. And that's when Sepp Blatter came on board.
In October 74, FIFA contacted me and said, Avalanche is looking for somebody who could develop the game. And I heard, FIFA. I said, whoosh, I jump into FIFA. I met Avalanche, a big, tall man. It's easy to be tall in front of me. I never had more than Messi, 170, 169. So it's easy to be tall. And he looked at me and he said, Tu veux travailler avec moi? Do you want to work with me? And I said, yes, Mr. President. Handshake. And he said, Je t'engage. Then I had what I wanted in my life, to work for football and in football. But developing the game, I cannot do it myself. I need help. FIFA had no money. So what I did, I approached Coca-Cola and I made a presentation, and then there was a man there and he said, listen to what you have said, but how many bottles of Coca-Cola are you going to sell for me? I said, it's not a question to sell Coca-Cola, but it is a question that two big organizations, they can go together for the benefits of the youth. And so in 1976, we made the press conference to announce the big support from the Coca-Cola company to FIFA for the development programs and the youth competitions.
And he was the first one who introduced the modern sponsoring in development programs. It was totally new. This was revolutionary, you know. Coca-Cola supported the FIFA Coca-Cola program, as it was called. This was the start of the modern FIFA.
And once we had Coca-Cola, then others followed. Adidas said we will give the equipment. And then we had a contract with KLM.
And this is happening in the first 4 years that Havelange is in power, as they're selling massive sponsorships for the first time. After that, you start to see all these other brands start attaching themselves to football to sponsor the '78 World Cup. And it brings in an avalanche of money to FIFA.
Football became a product, then automatically, it's obvious, you touch politics.
L'Argentine, je suis certain, elle fera une Coupe du Monde excellente. C'est un pays économiquement riche. Elle a un équilibre total pour que nous puissions avoir une condition financière excellente pour la Coupe du Monde.
The '78 World Cup was really a remarkable moment in the history of sport and politics, for that matter, as well, because it was the opportunity for FIFA to begin to really spread its wings financially, but also it was an opportunity for FIFA to lay down with perhaps the most despicable kinds of politicians you can imagine in the world.
Argentina in 1976 had a takeover by a fascist, violent, brutal military group. They were responsible for atrocities and disappearances.
General Videla, this very stern-looking man, was running Argentina at this time. The military junta was bundling up dissidents and putting them on airplanes and helicopters and throwing them into the Rio de la Plata. They were squashing all dissent, and it was a truly horrific moment in modern world history.
La dictadura fue algo funesto para el país. Nos trajo dolor. No se suspendió la Copa del Mundo aún con muchos problemas económicos que tenía el país.
La palabra del presidente para nosotros
agrega-se a más una tranquilidad. Portanto, salimos de acá muy contentos y muy felices.
There's a modern word for cruel or unjust regimes who glamorize themselves or cleanse their image through association with football, and the modern word is sports washing, the laundering of an image through being associated with sport. The most famous example isn't Argentina, it's the Hitler Olympics in 1936 in Berlin.
The World Cup of Argentina is a carbon copy of 1936. We call on the footballers, spectators, and the press of the world to boycott the games.
There was a big campaign to boycott it, but no country did boycott it. Argentina reached the final with a wonderful team. One of the stars was Mario Kempes, playing with his socks down his ankles in a really flamboyant way, long hair.
He rode 3 tackles before playing a reverse pass off the goalkeeper. It was heart-stopping.
And Argentina won the World Cup.
Es el primer momento feliz que yo recuerdo en comunidad. Pasamos de la euforia a la tristeza. Cuando nos enteramos ya terminando la dictadura, todo lo que había pasado en aquellos años, de cómo podíamos haber sido tomados como títeres de alguna manera.
E eu mantive porque era esporte, não era política. Foi muito bem organizado, a disciplina foi total e foi uma grande Copa do Mundo.
João Avelange disse isso, que futebol e política não se misturam. Que a FIFA é uma entidade suprapartidária, apolítica. João Avelange fez uma Copa decidida no Estádio Monumental de Nunes, a 500 metros da prisão da Escola da Marinha da Argentina, onde se torturava e matava opositores da ditadura. Porque eu não faço política. Entendeu? E faz a pior forma de ditadura.
You know, and he does the worst kind of politics there is.
Entendeu? E faz a pior.
The kind that supports dictatorships.
Que existe, que é a de respaldar ditadores.
Avalanche stands with General Videla and his cronies on the pitch at the championship game.
Sports washing is a big issue now, and when you look back at the 1978 World Cup, the 1936 Olympics, and now, I think it becomes more disturbing.
A runner carries the Olympic torch past Nazis.
Sport allows itself to be essentially bought by regimes with human rights issues rather than using its power to take a stance against that.
Blatter stands with Vladimir Putin.
And you could say Argentina wrote the playbook for how to do that.
Blatter announces the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Videla and his goons salute in a vintage photo. Text appears over a city built around a river, Zurich, Switzerland. Blue and white trams roll through town. FIFA representatives meet.
In this story of the history of how corruption takes root in FIFA, there's moments of original sin, moments of people doing something corrupt, and it then becomes endemic. And it seems that this, after the World Cup in Argentina, is really one of those moments.
Avalanche leads the meeting.
There are people who believe that Avalanche should be recognised for having a great legacy for football and for FIFA, which is arguable, but that he was corrupted by Horst Dassler, the German owner of Adidas.
Horst Dassler stands in a factory.
We produce 1,500 shoes, which is our main operation, and among other things, 500 balls per day.
Adidas had this incredible interwoven relationship with FIFA, and Horst Dassler was remarkably powerful and influential, going back decades by then.
The Adidas logo marks everything.
It's almost like how much Adidas you saw on television when the World Cup was on was reflected in the influence that Adidas had behind the scenes.
Dassler gives a press conference.
And the story goes that Adidas were doing the overall marketing package for the 1982 World Cup in Spain.
A wire amount reads $1 million.
And Horst Dassler put a payout in to the contract for Havelange in order to make sure that they secured the rights, which was effectively a bribe. And so João Havelange, the president of FIFA, takes money for those marketing rights.
Ken Benzinger.
And then Dassler started to think about other ways to bribe Avalanche to be able to control rights indefinitely, because he knows that the value of football is just going to explode.
TV cameras film.
As television developed, the rights to just seeing the action became very, very, very valuable. So Horst Dassler moves into pure sports marketing. He wants to buy up the rights to the World Cups from FIFA and then sell them to broadcasters.
And Avalanche is not interested necessarily in what the correct market value for it is. He's interested in, and this is where things start getting ugly, how much money Dassler can give him privately under the table in exchange for those rights. And so Dassler creates this company, ISL, International Sport and Leisure, and this company begins gobbling up almost every right associated with FIFA.
Dominic Schmidt.
At the time, the model was simple and very profitable for ISL. It was a straight rights buyout. So you went and offered a certain amount of money to FIFA in return for all their marketing rights. Then we could do with it whatever we wanted, and obviously sell them for a lot more money. As long as it brought money for FIFA, they were happy, because they themselves didn't understand what we were doing. But they liked the money coming in.
Havelange places documents on his desk.
They definitely really used their power to their benefit.
Blatter arranges his desk, Guido Tononi. And the mastermind behind everything was Horst Dassler. Granting ISL a de facto monopoly, the dark road started. Blatter and Havelange sit side by side at the head table at a conference. At the time, Blatter had the full trust of Havelange, and Blatter behaved in the way that Havelange could trust. He did everything for the president. I was witnessing this, you know. Young Tononi sits one seat away.
At the time, I remember there were 11 members in FIFA, and I was number 12. And number 12 at that time, he didn't play. He was substitute, but only in the first half. If somebody is injured, he never played. So I said, I'm not a silly boy to be the number 12 all my life.
The delegates play soccer.
Blatter was a very ambitious marketing guy. He learned how to try and negotiate your way up the ladder. And a way of doing that was to very much be the loyal worker for Havelange.
Blatter examines documents.
And in 1981, he became the General Secretary.
A diagram charts the power structure.
So then he's second in power, really, to Havelange.
Havelange.
Hello.
Guido Tononi. And Havelange was always in Brazil. He came every 6 weeks or 2 months to see if the building is still standing. So Blatter could more or less do what he wanted. He was the best-oriented person. He was the spider in the net. And Havelange was happy with the situation as it was. He could get his black money, he could be the president, he could get the glory. Throngs of fans fill Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, 1982 FIFA World Cup. Interview Ernesto Rodriguez, biographer João Havelange.
A moment when people understood this is a powerful guy. FIFA is something else now. Was the cup in Spain, without any doubt.
King Juan Carlos attends the game.
There was a huge qualitative leap from the darkness of Argentina to that sunny cup in Spain in '82, even in the sense of the climate.
Fans celebrate.
The fact that it was in Spain, which had just left a dictatorship almost 4 decades ago, Franco. So it was a completely different scenery. It left the shadows for the light. Who was shining? Was Havelange as well, right?
Na luz era João Avelange, né? Também.